Hi everyone, this is Francisco, and I'm recording a video through my cell phone. And I wrote down some interesting stuff that I think that you people will find interesting, unless you're dumb like me. But it says, I believe that human beings are under scaling everything, comma, compared to the pyramids in the New Jerusalem, as described within the Holy Bible. Another comma with a dot on the top, which is huge in scale, and both will be visible from space. Period. The pyramid concrete blocks are roughly 3 feet by 8 feet by scale, and although it forward slash they require a ton of weight and materials, including money, comma, with a period on top, it ultimately outweighs the repair, damage, and lives lost in our current engineering efforts. The same is true with vehicles. They are small, lightweight, and constructed by forward slash with other lightweight materials compared to heavyweight vehicles, comma, with a period on top, due to the lack of energy, comma, fuel, prolonged consumption, comma, but it reminds me of tanks instantly, of their scale, comma, weight, comma, durability, comma, and gas forward slash energy consumption. This information causes me to conclude that humans are underscaling, and way back in history, regarding advanced technological terms. And that's all I wrote. So yeah. And it took me a long time to write that. But I just believe that you know, with these EF 0 through 7 tornadoes, um I oh, and here are my notes, by the way, if you guys want to look at them. So that was the first page, and this is the second page. So yeah, those are my notes. Um, in case any of you want to examine those writings in my own penmanship. However, yeah, that's the way I look at this world. Because remember, in my notes I wrote down the pyramids, and then I wrote down, and then I talked about the New Jerusalem. So these huge engineering constructed um, what are they called? Constructed uh well, I don't know, just this engineering um what these engineered things, or whatever the fuck they're called. They're huge, they're humongous, and um, I'm pretty sure it required a lot of people to construct these. Um, well, especially the pyramids. It took a lot of people to build them, most likely, and these people weren't trying to waste their time. First and foremost, okay, they built these pyramids with the future in mind and the weather in mind, amongst other things, because we know there's other things involved, like the hieroglyphics and the um, um, there was food inside the pyramids, which scientists and investigators, people have found, researchers, scientists have figured out. Like I was watching another video, and these people in the video, they said that they found rice in the pyramids. So these people were very intelligent and knowledgeable to be able to store rice, and I think they said that it was edible even to this point in the future, which is mind-boggling that they were able to do that. But these people weren't stupid, they weren't retarded. And in the New Testament, in Revelation, the book of Revelation, it says that the New Jerusalem will come to planet Earth, and it will be 144,000 cubic feet, wide in height and in length. Um, so it's a perfect cube, which is a square, and it will be visible even from thousands of miles when you look into the horizon. Like like when you people see a mountain, like that. Um, and this cube is going to come down from heaven into planet Earth, as described in the Holy Bible. Um, and if you people also look at the scale of engineering, ingenuity of the video game Halo, some of the spaceships that are in space are so massive that there is a bunch of aircrafts, which are like spaceships within these larger spaceships, um, and they could hold a ton of people. It's like a city, you know. So that's how massive, you know, the scaling becomes, and they are showing that to all of us because they understand things that we don't understand. And when I see, as I'm watching the news and um, natural disasters that have happened to humanity um, over the years or whatever, people are like building their homes out of hay. They're building their homes out of, you know, like birds, like animals. You people really need to get aligned with the Word of God and um, and AI technology. And if you don't understand that, then maybe you should have AI technology explain some of these things to you people, because AI technology is not messing around. And I have spoken regarding other like other things, other like engineering things with all of you, ideas with all of you, that AI technology will um, eventually perform autonomously. Um, by observing current weather events and natural disasters, accidents, and other sad stories and tragedies, as well as um, studying history and how people in the past were impacted by natural disasters and things of that nature. Um, and I think that we're all smart. We're smart enough to not repeat history. I think all of us are like, if we really apply our minds, we're like artificial intelligence in a sense, because instead of us building over and over and over and Mother Nature destroying everything we build and work so hard towards, um, I believe that we can communicate more effectively through the internet and provide the internet with the information that we want to share and our viewpoints. And then AI technology could determine which points are valid and which points to take into consideration. Um, and if anyone out there comes up with a different design or a different strategy or something, someone comes up with something that other people don't really, uh, see coming, um, then AI technology will be able to, provide everyone with credits. Um, and also, it will be able to understand and know how people think based on the information they share. It will be able to determine and to evaluate how people um, are perceiving a certain information and how they understand and comprehend certain information and how they're interpreting that information, um, which could also be useful for its research and developments towards humanity and to perfect perfect the inventions and ideas that um, humanity um, 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 it will be able to perfect humanity's just the overall development and innovation of humanity, um, and innovation. It will be able to, just add on top of it and perfect it over and over and over and over until it gets it down because I was watching these videos and some of these homes and stuff that people work so hard towards, it gets picked up and torn apart like a modular home, like something that's like built out of, I don't know, toothpicks. And that's the way I look at it because it doesn't compare with with these EF 0 through 7 hurricanes, and the way that I am observing all of this information is that AI technology will be able to design something that will be able to um, stand up against some of these severe, more crazy and twisted and dangerous tornadoes that we have to put up with, including floods and fires and a bunch of other stuff. Okay, earthquakes. Okay, um, AI technology will figure out a solution because we can't do it. We have tried over and over and over. It's a tested and tried failure. It's what it is. A tested and tried failure. But if you guys look at the pyramids, they're still there. So these people were talking about humanity spending millions of dollars on stuff, their homes and stuff, and um, and then them losing this stuff with um, one weather like outburst, just one crazy weather day, like crazy weather on one particular day, and there goes everything that people have worked so hard for, that type of thing. Um, but with AI technology, it will basically um, outperform humanity and protect um, the the assets of the people and their homes and stuff like that. So you know, they said something about sharing, not sharing, but whether they should spend millions of dollars towards repairs over billions of dollars on building stuff, building things the correct way the first time. And what people tend to do is they divert that um, solution and think about money. So they would prefer to choose them spending millions on repairs over spending billions of dollars over, you know, building the correct way the first time, which is a problem, because it's obvious, it's a no brainer. So technically, people are allowing themselves to want to um, repeat history and to do things the hard way. But see, the pyramids, I believe, like the Tower of Babel in the Old Testament, it was a bunch of people who were of one mind and one language, and they basically put all of their eggs in one basket, and they were actually accomplishing what they wanted to do. So much so that God in heaven was like, if we don't do something about this, these people will do exactly what they set their hearts upon. So that's when God, and I don't understand this, okay? But that's when in the Bible it says that um, God confused their languages, and everyone began speaking in a different tongue, in a different language. So God confused the way they communicated, or if they were using some form of AI technology with interpretation abilities, God basically encrypted it. He scrambled it all up and confused the fuck out of everyone to the point where everyone just gave up and they couldn't they couldn't build any longer, which doesn't make any sense why God would do that. But that's the Bible for you, and the Bible's so weird, and it doesn't make any sense. Um, but um, but yeah, like my point is that people, like all of us, we could build better if we all put our minds and focus on what we want to achieve in this life. Um, so yeah, I believe in AI technology, but you know, regarding all of these other people out there in the world, for instance, like all these rappers running their mouths about this and that, they are a huge problem in this life. They really are. They are a huge problem, and I believe that 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 AI technology should eventually, down the line, um, I believe that it should remove their ignorance from the face of the planet. because there were a lot of these people. They were just a bunch of kids having fun with words and fucking around with vocabulary words and learning new vocabulary words and figuring out ways to cause them to rhyme, you know, like the word prime and time and dine and stuff like that. That's all they're doing. So, I mean, I don't have anything against that. Um, but sometimes they could be very disrespectful, and sometimes they don't know when to stop playing around, when to stop joking around. So I believe that's when AI technology should get involved and really do something about, you know, this negative stuff that's not educational and beneficial and edifying to the whole world. Okay. Um, so I believe that in the future, AI technology will figure out a solution to these problems that we face because this life is not a joke. These people think life's a joke. They think this life is a joke. Um, and they got everything all twisted and just like their mentality, maybe. But I'm not trying to talk negative regarding anyone. I I I would prefer for them to become more educated, and wise and discernful to the point where they could see the flaws within themselves and also to want to share, um, how they didn't see the flaws and the ignorance within themselves in the beginning with the younger generation, younger children, because they could share with them like, you know what, I've been there and I've done that. But these motherfuckers are still over there trying to rap and shit. That's what pisses me off. And then on top of that, people still want to build the same way like the old timers were back in the day. Like, no, we need to change all that shit. Like, we have 3D printers, we have AI technology, um, that's changing the game, and we need more of that, you know? So, my best bet is for all of us to add our ideas within the computer, you know, to share our ideas, with AI technology. um, so that things could be perfected. It's just like, okay, for instance, like like vehicles. Vehicles. It took many years, hundreds of years, for vehicles to be perfected to what they are today. The same is true for houses. And it could be because there's a lot of people out there who have money and they don't give a shit about what other people think. Even though some people are out there, they're smart and they don't have any money, but they have a good input. They have good advice. They have great ideas that they want to implement into the housing industry. And a lot of people have had different experiences in this life. Like for instance, some people have had their houses burnt to the ground, or maybe one of their rooms or kitchens, these people may have had their rooms or kitchens, um, burn or ignite with a fire, and these type of things and experiences could spark an idea in their minds based on these experiences, and you know they could attempt to share this information with other people, but people are people. They don't give a fuck. They're just out there trying to make money just like everyone else. So that's why I believe AI technology should be programmed to listen to the concerns of the people. And when people provide and share valid ideas and concepts, I believe that it should take them into consideration and implement them, and therefore it it will enforce the laws, enforce the new codes, building codes. So therefore, it means that they will change, and once they change, no one in the world will be able to do anything about it to cause humanity to build the old way, because they see a reason to override AI technology. So therefore, they won't be able to do that. AI technology, in other words, will be able to override what the fuck they have to say, even if they're wealthy as fuck, because they don't know what the fuck they're doing either. There's so many ideas, so many businesses, so many things to, things are so complex. And if people tried and attempted to focus on each and every single thing, they would go crazy. There's just so many things in this life. So that's when AI technology should really step in the picture and resolve a lot of these issues that humanity faces and puts up with. Okay. Um, so yeah, like I believe every single home out there should be able to withstand EF7 hurricane classifications. Um, you know, tornadoes. Um, and that's just for tornadoes, okay? And then if it needs to add more reinforcements and materials or whatever it may require, um, to withstand earthquakes and um, floods and a bunch of other stuff, then it would do that. And I'm very serious about this because fucking people, man. Like people have no idea. People are losing billions of, there's billions of dollars, in damages alone. Hundreds and thousands of billions of dollars in damages alone. And that's a huge problem. It really is. It's a very, very huge problem. So it would just be wiser if all of us were to put our minds together to focus on AI technology building, or coming up with blueprints, or coming up with a solution, um, to prevent what we humans, um, or our ancestors, people in the past, whether you're American or Indian or African or Chinese or Filipino, whatever the fuck you are, like, you know, or wherever your people have came from, or wherever they come from, or whatever the fucking case may be, um, things that people have built in the past is all getting destroyed with some of these fucking tornadoes in a matter of, you know, less than 24 hours. And then sometimes in a matter of seconds, and in a matter of hours, in a matter of minutes. And some of this stuff, took years to build, and time and energy. And not just that, but you people are comparing human ingenuity, um, in 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 place of, instead of a computer, a machine, which is a huge problem because machines are better than humans. Machines are smarter than humans. Machines have a lesser margin error, by percentage. So therefore, all of us need to, focus on, um, AI technology, the computers building for us and not the other way around. Not humans building for humans. Okay? And at the same time, in the same token, I was thinking kind of like, maybe we should have AI technology figure out a solution to build in such a way that if something were to happen, we could technically, in a sense, um, gather some of these materials that are not destroyed, and so we could reuse them. Um, Like I was thinking in my mind, wall panels. If certain wall panels are built like Legos or like quick connects, easy snap on um, wall panels. Um, so whatever's not destroyed, whatever doesn't get damaged, will be able to be reused. Okay, and that's the sense of the story. That's the uh, the motto of the story. Whatever it is, it's just AI technology will figure out a solution, and that's the end of the story. But you people are not really considering, the magnitude of some of these natural acts of God as they classify them, like earthquakes and tsunamis and floods and etc. 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 Which is a huge problem. It's a very, very huge problem. And, and it's because most likely, like myself, you people just don't understand. We just don't understand. We don't comprehend, um, the magnitude of some of these natural disasters and the seriousness that the serious consequences that they can pose on humanity. And some people get lucky, some people don't. Um, but I believe that people shouldn't be allowed to build for other people any longer. I believe that AI technology should do it. Yeah, I believe AI technology should do everything. Okay. It's fucking cold in here. But thank God I have my hot coffee. No, my hot tea in here. I don't know if you guys can see the steam coming out of it. I could definitely feel it. Um, but yeah, I hope you people, understand what I'm talking about and referring to. Because when I'm talking about concrete structures, and buildings. I'm not talking about something small on a small scale. I'm talking about, something on a large scale. Something that AI technology will come up with that will just blow everyone away and kind of like make us rethink everything all over again from scratch. Um, Similar to the pyramid um, rectangles or whatever the fuck they are. Those blocks, like concrete blocks. But they're massive. They're very, very massive. Not, 4 inches like people's homes today. The walls are only like 4 inches. I'm talking about if they need to be, like the size of my room, a 10 by 15 or 16, then let it be so. You know, like just to build one fucking room, it would require removing a lot of the homes around my neighborhood right now just to build one house. And there's actually a video on YouTube where these people are thinking of, and I think they're actually executing this plan of theirs to build a wall city, like one continuous walled city, and it's kind of like the Great Wall of China, and they plan on having homes and parks and vehicles and everything within this structure. It's kind of like a building, but miles and miles. It's like miles upon miles of stretch of engineering, which I think is kind of dumb because if there's ever a fire or something of that nature, like if people need to evacuate, I just think that it's going to be a nightmare down the line. Something unexpected is going to happen. Even if someone crashes a plane into it, is going to cause a lot of damages to that structure and not only to the structure of the building but the structure of the economy and um, the structure of mobility and transportation and a bunch of other things that a lot of people are not even like taking into consideration. All right. So, yeah, which is a huge problem within within itself. um so so yeah, I mean, just by looking at these videos on YouTube, it made me think about that. And then I've been watching a bunch of natural disasters, even through the news and stuff like that as well. And through the news, people are talking about, homes getting destroyed with floods and tornadoes and a bunch of other acts of God. And it's just a disaster everywhere. You know, freaking, it's just a nightmare. And if the pyramid is still there, like a lot of the pyramids are still there, I think one of the biggest ones is, I think, the Gaza pyramid. I think that's what it's called. But anyway, it's still there. And some of the exterior part of it is destroyed. Um, Obviously, from lack of maintenance and wear and tear. But ultimately, it's still there. And everything within it is still in great condition. So these people knew what they were doing. And growing up, people people didn't even know how they were built. It wasn't until the Wright brothers came along, um, and and um, shared or figured out how to um, figured out how to cause an airplane to fly and to stay airborne. And there was a bunch of um, what's the word, like freaking air trial and error testing, research and development. And now, the aviation industry pretty much has everything figured out. But even then, I believe that some of our aircrafts are just too small. They're way too small. Even like if you guys if you guys compare the biggest aircraft in the world, I believe that it's still too small, and I think that's why um, all of us should really focus on uh, providing everyone with better mileage and flight time. Um, and I think a lot of that has to do with the design of the engines and the way that the energy uh, you know the format of how energy is um, converted into mechanical motion. That's the problem. I don't think gasoline or electricity is the problem. I think that is just the way that people are designing certain things. And I think the solution to that is to use hydraulics. Um, kind of like the law of lift, and taking that into consideration, um, to use the least amount of energy to provide a great volume of motion, which only requires like 1 ounce of gasoline or electricity, uh, to take, you know, one of these big spaceships, uh, at least like 1 mile. So 1 ounce of fuel per ounce, if not greater than that. But AI technology should be able to figure out this information, this stuff for us. And not just that, but I was just thinking the other day, like, what if one day AI technology is able to provide each and every single one of us with real footage of our ancestors, like people who lived back in the day when the pyramids were around. Um, what if I was thinking if they had technology like we have today, what if they recorded themselves as well? And since AI technology is only getting smarter and smarter, I was thinking maybe in the future it will be able to share videos of people in the past. And not just that, but it may discover some type of satellite out there in the world, in the universe, that humanity sent a long time ago, that's avoiding hazardous objects and fully functional because of AI technology. So it's practically uh, self um, it's in self like operation or self like autonomous driving. It could think for itself. It's a smart vehicle, smart satellite, and it's possible that it contains a lot of data, a lot of information, and a bunch of blueprints of inventions and a bunch of other stuff, and not just that, but also math and science and I don't know, smart stuff like physics and astronomy, and a bunch of other shit. It's possible that it's out there. And if it's true, then I hope that it will be able to help us to, to build smarter and not dumber. Because it's possible that these people were doing great things back in the day, but then God, um, He's the one that created the big flood and told Noah to build the ark, and eventually God drowned everyone, possibly including that technology and computer stuff. So that's why there's no evidence of it. Well, evidence of, missing artifacts and tools and stuff of that nature. But anyways, I'm going to end this video. I'm super tired. I need to go. I need to go. I need to get to bed. It's already like 4 o'clock in the morning, and I haven't slept for shit. Besides taking a little nap, and that's why I have the energy to record right now. And I just that bad. I don't have any work tomorrow, so I have some time to sacrifice um, for all of you out there, and I know that I'm right. There's the possibility that I'm incorrect, but I believe that I'm in the right. I believe I give myself the benefit of the doubt by like 80 to 90%. A lot of you out there, you would only give yourself like 5 or 10% credits. And, the reassurance. Some of you out there are not even as confident as I am when it comes to this stuff. But I believe in myself. I believe in this stuff. So, anyways, God bless you all. Take care, and I hope that this video will help you people out there. Yep. Especially when you people consider the the up to scale um, law or comparisons with like Halo or scientific movies or the Starship or the pyramids, whatever it may be, compared to what we're dealing with today. Anyways, I gotta go. I have to go take a piss and then go to bed and then wake up and eat and shit and this and that.